5 would be nice here.
Are you the private investigator?
Oh, that's what someone painted on the door.
I'll take that as a yes. I'd like to hire you, if you're available.
Well, it just so happens that I am. What can I do for you, Ms.
Linsky, but I'd prefer if you called me Sylvia.
Okay, Sylvia. I'm Tex Murphy. Have a seat.
I'm sorry if I disturbed your game.
Well, that's all right. I was losing anyway.
Would you like one?
No, actually, there's a rumor going around that those things are bad for you.
Lots of things are bad for you. That doesn't stop me from enjoying them.
So, why are you in the market for a PI?
My father, Carl Linsky, died a week ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
The police think it's suicide. I believe they're wrong.
Well, the police are usually pretty good in matters like this. I mean, I can't believe they'd make that big a mistake.
My father wasn't suicidal, and I'll pay you to prove it.
Okay, your father's name is... Sorry, was?
Carl Linsky.
Okay. Well, if we rule out the suicide, that leaves 3 other ways to go. I mean, it could have been an accident, or natural causes, or it could have been murder.
The police say that they have witnesses that saw him jump off the Golden Gate Bridge.
Well, I guess that rules out the first 2 then. So you think your father was murdered?
He didn't kill himself, I know it.
Look, if I take your case, you gotta understand there's no money back guarantee. And it doesn't sound real promising.
I just don't know what else to do.
Who's the officer in charge?
The detective's name is Eve Clements.
All right, I'll go down and I'll talk to her. We can get together later and I'll tell you what I found out.
I'm staying at my father's house. Here's the address. Now, about the money up front. How much do you need? Because I haven't got a lot.
I'm running a special this week. If I decide not to take your case, there isn't going to be any charge.
Thank you. I'll be waiting.
It was nice to meet you, Sylvia.
It doesn't sound like a very promising start.
Well, like I said, I was running out of cash fast and was pretty desperate for a case. I knew Detective Clements and figured I'd pay her a visit. The only problem was she and the Colonel were pretty tight, and like I told you, I'd gotten the Colonel in some trouble not long before.
Get out!
You busy?
If it isn't Tex Murphy. Sold out any fellow PIs lately?
Well, now that you bring it up, how is the Colonel doing anyway?
We had a drink together a couple of nights ago. He said if I saw you, to be sure and tell you to go to hell.
You broke the law. You of all people should appreciate what I did.
Officially speaking, you should have turned the Colonel in. Off the record, I wouldn't trust you to walk my dog.
Well, would you trust me to walk your cat?
Sure. I hate cats. Almost as much as Pansy PI's wasting my time.
Look, I'll be so quick you won't even know I was here.
Give me one good reason why I should do any favors for you.
Come on, Detective Clements. Even you were a rookie once. Give me a break.
All right, Murphy. You're just lucky you caught me in a charitable mood. But be quick about it. 6 witnesses saw Linsky take the dive. Their stories matched up and they all checked out.
And they all ID'd Linsky.
Not exactly. None of them were close enough to make an absolutely positive ID, but they described his general appearance, build, and clothing. Body wasn't found for a couple of days. Wasn't in the best shape when we fished it out of the bay, but we were able to make an identification using the personal effects found on the body. Standard stuff. Wallet, keys, and a suicide note neatly sealed in a Ziploc bag. I'd let you see it, but it's logged in as evidence. The handwriting, incidentally, was 100% match. As next of kin, she was notified and came in to identify her father's body. Didn't take it too well. One of the uniforms had to drive her home. Coroner said the cause of death was drowning. No other injuries. Though there was a scar back here. Linsky probably had surgery done recently. That's all. We didn't follow it up since it had nothing to do with his suicide.
So you're saying you're not going to take my case?
Well, I don't want to take your money if I can't help you.
Fine. Leave.
I'm just being straight up, okay?
If you won't help me, I can do what I can on my own. It certainly won't be the first time.
I charge $400 a day plus expenses.
I have $1,000. If you can prove it wasn't suicide, I'll give you $10,000 later.
It's a deal. Now you're gonna need to tell me everything you know so I can get started.
Oh, I will. Thank you, Tex. All I want to do is find out the truth about my father's death.
Detective Clements said you didn't pick up your father's personal effects.
I really don't remember much after they asked me to identify the body. An officer drove me home, and I haven't gone back.
Well, they won't release the personal effects to me, and I'm hoping I'll be able to go through them so I can see if there's any kind of lead.
When we're done, I'll go pick them up and meet you back here. She wasn't very friendly or helpful. I think she already made up her mind about my father's death.
Why don't you think your father would commit suicide?
He never would have considered it. He took good care of himself, and he often told me he was going to celebrate his 100th birthday by going skydiving.
Well, do you know anybody who'd want to see him dead?
No, no one. Everyone liked him. He was a kind man. I found a scrap of paper here with the address to your office written on it, no name. If my father didn't contact you, he must have gone to see someone else who works in your building. Before I came to see you, I checked the directory in the lobby, but didn't recognize any of the names.